Well, I'm in the kitchen, so what does that mean? We're back with Chef Jason Parsons. So this is another plant-based recipe. This time it's a vegan spring pasta, garden herb pesto with cashew parmesan. Excuse me, sir. So the first step is to make the pesto, am I right?
It's all about these beautiful herbs. Look at them, aren't they fantastic?
Beautiful.
And they came from my garden. Isn't that awesome? You know, there's some tips I want to kind of give to when you're making a really good pesto. First thing is always use the soft, fresh herbs. Don't get into like rosemary, thyme. I've got here like basil, chervil, chives, parsley, all things like that. The other thing to do is when you're going to blend it is start with the oil first. So I got olive oil that I'm going to add into the blender. Okay, and the reason you do this is because you got the liquid at the bottom, and so that when you add your heavy ingredients, they kind of float, giving the blender a little bit of a chance to move. If you throw your dry goods in, you put the oil, you sit there sometimes and it's trying to move, you know? So
that's a very
of course,
good
a little
tip.
bit of garlic in there.
We all learn it the hard
garlic.
way when we've got that blender and it's not going anywhere because it's got no liquid in it, so smart.
Well, and that's when you get the wooden spoon and start poking it in and then thinking, what's happened to the wooden spoon? So, you know, here we go. So here's the thing, though. You just see, so I have olive oil in, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of pine nuts, and then the herbs, and I blend. But now what I do is I just did a little bit of a blend, and then once I get it going, I'll start adding more herbs and more herbs. This is what's really cool is the French have a thing called pesto. The Italians are pesto. Pesto is a little thicker, pesto is a little lighter, so you can kind of make your own variation of whether you want a heavy, rich pesto that spreads on bread, or you can make it a little lighter by not adding as much, and it's great for a sauce. So the one I did today, you know, you can see here, look at that, it's got that nice body to it, but it's lighter because we're going to use that as our pasta sauce. And literally what I'm going to do is put that right into my pot.
Nice. So you're a pesto kind of guy.
Awesome?
Well, you're a French chef, aren't you?
It's all about the pesto, you know. No, but you know, it's just, and you can always add this. If you have a rich pesto, you can add a little bit of olive oil to it. What we're doing is we're making a sauce for our pasta that's not cream-based, it's not heavy, again, going for that plant-based option. The other thing, though, is I've gone for a vegan and gluten-free pasta. It's out there. The only thing I recommend when you're using this stuff is cook it al dente, because if you overcook it, it goes to mush. But literally, I just warm up my sauce here like this, and then I've already cooked this separately in boiling water, salt. I've let it cool down so I can make sure it's cooked perfectly, and now I'm going to add it in. So I just added my little pasta like this.
Chef, what do you think of the taste?
Away.
How does it compare to the pasta that we're used to?
I think it's good. It actually, the taste is pretty good. I would say it's almost on par. It's actually the texture that's a little bit that's off. So whenever I'm cooking with something like a gluten-free pasta, I want to make sure there's something crunchy in there. So with this, now I wanted to really take advantage of spring. So I've got all those beautiful, I've got zucchini, asparagus, carrots. But what I did is I literally took a vegetable peeler and I just peeled them and made nice little ribbons. And I'm just going to throw those right into my pasta and let them kind of soften in there. And then I've also got these sun-dried tomatoes, which give a nice little tang to it and a little chewiness in there. And then I'm just going to put this on nice and low here and let that cook. But here's the trick. You don't want to overdo it at this point. We're just softening those vegetables, maybe adding in a little bit of salt and pepper. But what's missing is that beautiful Parmesan cheese that we always love with our pastas. So this was the kind of the cool little, you know, my magic trips today, but is making cashew Parmesan cheese. And now you think, okay, wait a minute here. How do you make cashew Parmesan cheese? Well, literally, I took cashews and this nutritional yeast. This is the secret for everything because it gives you that flavor, but it also helps to thicken a little bit. And then I took a little bit of garlic powder and some salt, and I literally just blended them until I ended up with this beautiful, what looks like Parmesan cheese. And the crazy thing is on TV, you're probably looking at that and going, well, isn't that just ground cashews? But you have to taste it. It literally has a cheesy texture to it, cheesy taste to it, and it's fantastic. So look how fresh and spring-like this looks. And you can see, I just did that in like, what, 2 minutes? Bring it all together, boom, like that. And then, of course, you take that beautiful cashew Parmesan, sprinkle it right over top. And then I was in the garden, I couldn't resist. I had some of my little chive flowers, so I'm gonna add some chive flowers on that. But that dish right there, plant-based, vegan, gluten-free, no dairy, got cheese on it. Like, hello, what's going on?
This man makes his own cheese. He made his own cheese. It looks phenomenal, Chef. Thank you so much. Both recipes, you knocked it out of the park.